Welcome to your practice. The practice today is yoga for spaciousness. It's going to be a little bit like yin and a longer time stretching and poses. So, for spaciousness, we need to feel a lot of space in the mind, in the heart, in the shoulders, in the neck, in the hips, in the lower back. So, we're going to be doing all of that with yogic breathing. Yogic breathing is basically deep diaphragmatic breathing, and it's also natural breathing. Babies breathe like that just naturally. So, this whole practice will be doing deep diaphragmatic breathing in the poses. We're going to call it free breathing. I'm going to start with a thoracic spine opener. If you got your mat ready, you can also just lay down on your carpet at home for these poses. You may want blocks, especially for the type of thoracic opener I'm going to show you. You may need some thick books if you don't have blocks, or you can use a bolster. I know some of us have bolsters at home. So the blocks are going to be set up in a T shape. That's for the spine, that's for the head. So about 6 inches away, and then sit 6 inches away from this block. So hold the block, and as I lay down, just beside the lowest part of your rib cage, that's where the connection begins, and you know it's right. And this may shift a little bit depending on the shape of your head. When I lie down here with first getting into the comfort of the spine. Welcome to close your eyes here or keep them open. I'm going to spread my arms in such a way that helps me open up some space. First of all, trusting the block underneath. Comfortable opening in the chest, the neck, the collarbones. Trusting that my head will be on this block. If you're on a bolster, you can position the bolster in such a way that gives you the best opening for your thoracic spine. Some of us may want to butterfly the legs here. I think in this first pose there's a nice feeling of hip and thoracic opening if you're going to butterfly the legs. I noticed that as soon as I took the knees outward, I needed to bring my arms back. So with the yin practice, it's best to focus on just one thing. So if I, for my body, need to get my thoracic spine open, I need to just focus on that area of the body. So I'm just going to bring my knees in. So I can just focus on this area and the breathing. With this diaphragmatic breathing, you wanna feel a sense of mobility in the rib cage and the abdomen. Belly expands, belly contracts, rib cage expands, rib cage contracts. Other option with the legs is to slightly lengthen, partial bend in the legs. The posture has to be quite restful for you to be able to concentrate on your breathing. Remember, the underlying theme of this practice is spaciousness. Belly breathing will get rid of surface stress and will start to target deep stress that we hold in the tissues of the ribs, inside the abdomen, and along the spine. I'm groping for my timer to see how long that's been, and it's been close to 5 minutes. To come out of this position, I'm going to bring my feet in. For my body, if my legs are slightly crossed, I can push my elbows down, engage my neck muscles, engage my abs, lift up to remove the blocks. Remove the blocks. And come to a seated position since we've already in seated. Choose to have yourself sit on blocks. Using blocks to sit on will give you a lower back lift. For my body right now, I'm choosing to sit without the props because my thighs can come all the way down, and put my hands behind, anchor the arms, and I'm going to stay here for at least 10 breaths. No strain in the neck. If you're outside practicing, enjoy warm sunshine on your face, cool breeze on your skin. Listen to the echo of the breath. And then Gently come out of this position and take the time to unwind before we begin to twist. There are two ways to do a twist. One is to lie down on your back. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Lie down on your back. Take a gentle twist to your right, just like this. Some days I like to lie down and take that twist. You could also take one knee, so left knee, over for the twist. You could lay all the way down, or you could take some blocks to support your twist. At this moment, I feel like sitting down for my twist. So I'm going to use my blocks to sit. Um, and I'm going to have my right leg in a natural um, bend and the left ankle over the right thigh for my twist. And then I'm going to turn towards the right side, just like I guided the supine twist. From the previous pose, there's a nice feeling of spaciousness along the spine. I'm going to position my head in a comfortable angle. I can pressure the twist if I like by taking my left hand to the thigh and turning um, and squeezing the twist. At the same time, I want to think about what's what's effective for free breathing. So I'm going to modify my twist, offer about 60% of the turn in my spine, lock my ankles by flexing my foot on top and the foot at the bottom, anchor my gaze on the movement in nature, the sway of the branches, or just focus on body stillness and a quiet, peaceful breath. So getting close to 3 minutes. Now turn back to center. You may want to unwind before you get to the other side. A big part of spaciousness is to offer a little bit of space between the poses. Maybe some unwinding if you're uncomfortable. Even downward dog or cat and cow if needed. I'm going to set up the other side. So the bottom leg is naturally bent. The top leg, when I have ankle over the knee, take my timer over to the side, set up the intensity for this twist. I'm using the back hand to anchor the ground. The front arm is sort of loose. I can just place it somewhere so it has its place. There's a gentle opening in this left side of my shoulder. My neck and my face is calm. The next thing is to focus a subtle movement in the branches and the leaves in this warm sunshine. The quiet nature, a friendly breeze, the twittering birds, the still ground. Once in a while, unwind the neck if needed. Yellow flowers all around. Even the weeds look beautiful. Purple wildflowers. And a few more breaths. Feel the movement of the rib cage in your breathing, movement of the abdomen. Turn to the front. Disengage the legs. Option to be still in a neutral position or option to move. I'm going to come on hands and knees. Keep my blocks here. And I'm going to unwind. I like to do child's pose, upward dog, child's pose, and upward dog. I'm going to bring my knees in and prepare for a low lunge opening. Send your left leg forward. Take your blocks with you. Get your back knee further back as much as is comfortable. For an opening, I'd say about 60% or 70%. Going to start with heart opening, shoulder opening. So take my hands behind. Option to keep that fist at the lower back. Option to just gently pull the arms away from the body. Slight bend in the elbows. Few more breaths. You can always change the variation of the arms and change the variation of the back foot. I like to curl my toes, it offers more stability. Now I'm going to place my hands down, put the top of the back foot down, sink my hips a little lower, and hang out here for just a little while, about 5 breaths. Think about different ways of opening your hips. Sinking low puts a lot of pressure in the hip flexor on the right side. Sinking low also gives me a good stretch in the back quad. Keeping my block here for me to lean on helps me open up and deal with all of these sensations in a peaceful way. Nothing is forced. I'm going to change the heart opening and hip opening just a little. I'm going to curl my toes again for a different effect. I'm still in the lunge position. I'm going to take my hands behind the head and lean my head back. And stay for just a little while. In in this practice, I'm not too concerned of doing the poses in a particular way, but we're focusing on how we can open the body effectively so we can feel the space in all areas, in the joints. So it's a yin approach, but it may not look like a yin practice. Okay, release the hands. You want to check how long we've been in this lunge, and it's just 4 minutes. To change sides, I'm going to first open the leg a bit. You may also consider moving in downward dog or from child's pose to a back bend. I'm going to drag the heel back, indulge in neutralness, and then I'm going to turn to the other side just because it looks different on in the video, and do the low lunge with the right leg forward. Set up your back knee, curl the toes, accommodate the shape. I'm going to take my hands and go through the first variation. So you can make a fist with your palms and wait for just a little while for the body to open. You can then take your arms away from the body, open the chest, free breathing. And then release to a second variation of lunge. Lean on the blocks, turn the foot, the back foot, sink down a little bit. Feel the pressure in certain places. Hip flexor, focus on the movement in the rib cage and abdomen, expanding and contracting with the breath. And then one more variation of lunge. Curl the toes. You can take a bit of a break here, unwinding if you need to. You can come up, ground the feet, yin for the feet, yin for your fingers and bones in the hands, yin for your shoulders. A yin practice it strengthens the bones. By holding these poses for some time, it encourages blood flow into the joints, tight places in the body. And I'll try and come out of that. Uh, got a little more, and we're soon returning to center. Let's drag the heel back. Take the option that's best to unwind to neutral. I'm going to lie down. Shavasana. Helps me feel the effects of the practice so far. The next position is pigeon. You can also do pigeon on your back. Bring your left ankle over your right thigh. This is one way to do pigeon. This is another way to do pigeon on your back. This is another way to do pigeon. This is pigeon on your back, or this is pigeon. Just allowing the shin to naturally go at an angle that's comfortable. Today I'm going to do pigeon in this way. So it's you can just take your left knee towards your chest, get the knee outward. You can use a strap here if you want. Okay, if it feels good. Otherwise you're here. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here because for my body, I'm applying good stress in my arm bones, collarbones, elbows, knees, sciatic area, lower back, hips. And if I want to give it some change, I can lift the foot off the ground and engage my back muscles and my abs. Whenever you engage your back muscles and your abs, there's a feeling of confidence. Confidence is also helps us feel spacious. This is another way to play with this pose. Okay? So many ways to play with this pose. Rolling to one side, rolling to the other side. Yin yoga, the way it's defined, is to hold poses for a long time and to concentrate on one particular spot in the body. Just open that one spot, which is good. Given our complicated and diverse lives, I just feel that we should have more variety in the pose. And so when I offer yin practice, I offer a lot of play. Enjoy your practice. Yoga is meant to be enjoyable. It's not meant to be painful. It's not suffering and it's not a punishment. That way, we can come to the practice as often as we can. So much opening in this play. I've opened, I can feel the opening in my hips. It's taken away some surface stress. It's, bringing a lot of play into the practice. When you're having fun, time goes by fast. It's close to 5 minutes in this pose. We're going to get ready to transition. Breathe in, breathe out, prepare the body, close the body, bring your knees side by side, upside down, child's pose. Option to flip around, that's 5 minutes now. Flip around and do downward dog. What I like to do is take Shavasana for 3 or 4 breaths. When you're still in Shavasana, you'll notice what areas of the body really needed that play. How's the breath? How's your space? Let's come to the other side. Right ankle over the thigh. Option to hang out here. Option to bring the knee to the chest. Option to go into pigeon. Just here. It's okay to switch. If you did pigeon on your back on one side, it's okay to switch to pigeon in regular pigeon on this side. Why not? Just notice how you feel about it. I'm just traditional that way. If I do a position on one side and whatever that shape is, I prefer to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm setting up the timer. I'm going to be here for a while just to open the body, connect to the space in the lower back, the groin, the right knee, the ankle, state of equanimity. No pressure to change the position, no pressure to go anywhere. Okay, I'm going to change it to this variation. I like this variation because I'm already flexible. The more flexible you are, the more you have to do. So this pulls my shoulders down. It stresses the right hip, the right inner leg. It definitely feels different from the other side. I've got to ease off a little on this side. You want to get into a pose where there's a little bit of stress. It can never be too easy. If it's too easy, it doesn't help us grow, it doesn't give us, um, doesn't inspire. So the pose has to give you a little bit, of sensation. Sensation means the pose is working. As human beings, we're competitive in nature. So being able to have so much opening on that side, I'm inclined to bring that opening on this side as well. I'm not going to stay passive. So I'll turn and open my hip and play with this pose. Feels really good. There's a water wheel opening, boat opening. ankle opening, wrist opening. Swaying side to side, open the back, flex the ankles, it's close to 5 minutes. Let's prepare to release out of this position. I'm going to bring my knees closer, feet on the mat, pause in Shavasana, or just bend your legs. Oh, feels very good. I feel like my total body has opened up. Really don't need anything after that playfulness in the pose. If you were doing regular pigeon, also had the option to unwind in any way you wanted. I'm gonna come into Shavasana for some time. I'm gonna lay here for about 10 breaths. Arms lifted upwards. Blue sky. Space in space. Space on earth. Space in my hips. Space in my shoulders. Space in the abdomen. Space in the heart. And then I'm going to unwind, curl my toes, fingers, bring the feet in closer, turn to the left side when you do a practice that slows you down. Fetal position on the left side. Right hand to the ground, push the ground and come up. Take your blocks to sit. Sit, come and sit nice and tall. Let's close this practice. Namaste.